Hi, I'm Peaceful Nik the Medium. Welcome in, welcome in. Thank you for joining my live stream. I appreciate it. Oh, I just lost my Instagram connection. Well, too bad for that. Okay, I tried. Hi, again, welcome in, welcome in. Let me know when you get here. Hello, hello, hello. I am happy to be here. My name is Peaceful Nik the Medium. My name is Nicole in my daily life. I'm glad everyone is here. I want to talk about my beginner's course. That is a digital course you can download straight off my website. It's only $27 and it is a compilation of my entire 6-month beginner's course. Hello. Hello, everyone. I also have a new beginners class starting Tuesday, April 29th. Hi. And I have the a la carte spirit exchange on May 8th with Kathy Behrens and myself. And we have a guest reader this month, Hollis Taylor, who is a death astrology chart reader and is incredible. Hello, everyone. So that's May 8th for a one-time a la carte. That's only $25 for a 90-minute gallery. It's going to be incredible. I can't wait. Hi, Cosmic. Hi, Holly. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Lori. Hi, everyone. I also have a new special, buy one, get one free, 30 or 45-minute one-on-one mediumship readings. So when you book a reading, I will send you an email and you can decide, do you want to save your free reading for later or do you want to give it to somebody else? You can always gift your freebies to a friend or a loved one. So those are my specials. Tonight, I want to talk about spirit guides, loved ones, and angels, and how we know the difference as mediums. So please, please, please put your questions in the chat. And if you're on the Clock app and you feel compelled to join me on YouTube, I would love that. It's at Peaceful Nik. It's linked in my bio on the Clock app. Thank you for all the likes and clicks. I love it. Please put any questions in the chat and let's begin. Let's pull a collective card. I just did an incredible reading for someone and I feel so inspired to pull a card for the collective. I don't normally start out with a card, but I feel compelled. I actually am feeling very drawn to this other deck. So please let me know if you have any questions about spirit guides, angels, or loved ones. I'm gonna see what the star code. Ooh, that was, oh, I'm gonna cry. You guys saw me shuffle. The sun is the most powerful card in the deck, the sun and or the star in the tarot, and it's the same for oracle. The sun is the source of everything. And those of you who know me know that my master's degree is in astronomy. I love stars. I love the sun. The sun gives us all life. We all come from stars that exploded billions of years ago. All life on Earth and in the universe comes from a star. We are made of recycled stars. I just reposted this video the other day, so go back and find it on any of my socials about how stars died billions of years ago, and when they die, they shoot out all the stuff all over space, and all of those particles recombine to become new stars and new planets. And that's how Earth formed. And every element in your body came from exploded stars. Every single element in your body came from exploded stars. And that just makes me overwhelmed with happiness and joy that this card came out for tonight. This means you have limitless possibilities. Everything in the universe is available to you. You can pull in anything you want. We have to change our mindset from lack to abundance. Lack and abundance are on a different frequency. When you are worried about not having something, you're on that frequency. When you know that you are going to receive and be in a state of abundance, you go to that frequency. So please, please know that everything is available to you. You just have to be on that frequency. And can somebody comment? I'm not getting any comments from YouTube and Facebook. So somebody just give me a wave. Oh, okay, there. Hi, Abby. Okay, I got it. Thank you. So this, I'm leaving this out on my desk. I'm leaving this card out because you have no idea what this means to me. And I will tell you something. Aside from my trust and allow sticker I keep on my desk, about 15 years ago, I was at a restaurant with my family, a Chinese restaurant, and I got a fortune cookie. And in that fortune cookie was this fortune. And I have kept it in this frame ever since. I've had to, the frame's cracking, and it's, it's a cheap little chintzy frame, one of those $1.99 ones. But it says, turn your scars into stars. Turn your scars into stars. And I can't even tell you how much that means to me. The sun is a star. It's just a whole thing. It's just a whole thing. It's a whole thing. So that's the collective card to start the night. And I think it's incredible. It was the sun. You missed my whole rant about the sun and how you're made from star parts. And I almost broke down crying. So that's how we're starting the night. So positive, positive, positive. Be on the frequency of abundance. Be on the frequency of abundance. Do not be on the frequency of negativity and lack. So that's how we're starting. And I am thrilled, 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 thrilled. Absolutely thrilled by that. You have no idea. You have no idea. So we're going to talk about angels, spirit guides, and loved ones. How do we know the difference? Please put questions in the chat. A lot of people ask me the difference. I'm going to tell you the main difference between angels and spirit guides. And okay, good, Abby. The main difference between angels and spirit guides is this. Now, can I prove any of what I'm about to say? No, I can't prove it. And nobody will know until we cross over and find out for ourselves. This is just the going lore in the spiritual community, with the people that I am associated with. The people I learn from, the people I work with. This is the main belief system. Yay! Oh my God. It's like one mind, right, Abby? One mind. So the going belief system is an angel is a spirit that never incarnated on earth. Hi, Candace. An angel is a spirit that never incarnated on earth. A spirit guide is a spirit that has incarnated on earth, but you did not know them in this lifetime, but they have been with you your whole life and are there to guide you. You may have incarnated with them in a previous lifetime. And then a helper guide or guide, that's not a spirit guide, could be someone that you loved here in this life that has crossed over. Now, for example, my mother passed away in 1986. I've told the story many times. She has been a guide to me way before I was ever a medium. She has guided me my whole life for the last almost 40 years. She's not my spirit guide. My spirit guide is a different entity I did not meet until I became a medium because my mentor trained me how to find my guide. So, and I have more than one. Thank you, Ray, for coming over to YT. I appreciate that. So now, angels and guides, we've got that straight. Any questions about that? I'm going to go through some other stuff. So I do not have direct experience with angels that I can pull up in my memory because I've never tried to connect with an angel. I just haven't had that experience. I haven't tried to do it. However, I know they're there. I just haven't made that a practice. My spirit guides, I connect with regularly. They can give me downloads, or the universe is giving me downloads, or a group of guides is giving me downloads. I had a download last night. More information on that another time. It was about channeling, which kind of blew me away. Hi, Kimmy Cat. I'm glad you're here. So my guides, I communicate with regularly. Great question, Lori. How many guides do we typically have? It varies. Now, I will say for me, I don't want to be in communication with a lot of guides at once. Okay. I can't keep up with it in my head. So I have one main guide, George is his name. He's my constant companion, if you will. He's there at the ready anytime, 24/7. Anytime I need any help with anything with my mediumship, anything in my life, anything, I just call upon him and I see him in my mind's eye and have a conversation with him in my head, projecting out my energy to him. That's my main guide. I have, for emergency use only, and that's what she told me, mother guide. Don't get this confused with my mother who passed away. This is not my mother. Mother guide showed up. She stands behind me and she told me she's for emergency use only, which is hilarious. She looks like the homeless lady in Home Alone. But she looks like her coat is made of giant, colorful yarn. Like there's big pieces of giant, colorful yarn going all down her coat. That's the best way I can describe it. She actually came up in a reading I did the other day, and my client needed emergency use only mother guide in the moment, and she was there. The third guide I know is called Infinity, and she is there to help me. I can only see half her face. Her hair goes across her half of her face, and she is there to help me with symbols and numbers and dates and things like that. She's occasional. She shows up as needed. Now, do I have 20 or 30 guides? Maybe. Those are the guides I'm aware of now. Also, your guides can change throughout your life. I may not be in contact with George forever. George may be replaced by someone named Bill. I don't know, somebody else. I have a question from Kaylee who said, how do you communicate with your guides? Because I'm so experienced, I just form a thought in my head. I see my guide, George usually. I see him in my mind's eye and I just start projecting the information telepathically to him. That's how I communicate. Exclusive Mobile Bartending wants to know, how do you get a reading? If you want a private reading, great question. My private readings right now are on sale. Buy one, get one free for any 30 or 45-minute reading. And you can keep both readings for yourself, or you can gift a reading. Either way is fine by me. If you want to double up your 30-minute reading and make it an hour long for the price of one, you can also do that. I won't do that for the 45-minute because that's just too much time. So all the links are in my bio. My link tree is in my bio on my clock app. And Peaceful Nik the Medium.com is my website. Sorry. Whew. My brain glitched. All right. Okay. So that is, Lori, to answer your question, unknown number of how many guides we typically have. It's probably, I would guess, from 3 to 7-ish. But some people say they have like 17 guides, and like I have 2 kids and have trouble keeping their names straight. So if somebody can keep track of 17 guides, they've got a fresher brain than I do. Not that they can't have 17 guides. I just am not capable of taking the time to remember all of that. Kimmy Cat. I had a download last week, and it may have been one of your videos, and I got the name Abriel and Googled and read it as High Father, Man of God, variation of Abram or Abraham. That's awesome. And you know what? There are many times when I talk to other mediums, watch other mediums' videos, where they'll say they have gotten a word or a name in a meditation or a download, and then it's something they'd never heard of before, and then they Google it and they find all that out, like all this stuff out. And it's incredible because spirit knows everything. It's called spiritual intelligence. Spirit knows everything, every word and every language on this planet. And hi, Molly. If everyone is not already following Miss Molly Knows, she is going to be our guest reader in June for the Spirit Exchange a la carte. And she is famous, and I love her and all of her pictures and all of her posts. She is famous for being the finder of lost items. So if you want to join the Spirit Exchange a la carte in June, I believe it is, for Miss Molly, and you want to learn how she finds everyone's lost items, please join that. Yeah. You're famous to me. You're famous to me. And follow her on all her socials. And she also posts beautiful sunset pictures from her boat in Miami. And I love it. So Kimmy Cat said, it was crazy and I thought I was making up a name. Yeah. And that's the thing with downloads. That is the thing with downloads. You think you're crazy. Hi, Diana. I'm so glad everybody's here. We're talking about spirit guides, loved ones, and angels. And Molly, since you're on here, do you have a group of guides? Do you have one spirit guide? Do you have 25 spirit guides? How many guides do you have? Because people are asking. I have 3 that I keep track of. I can't do much more. Kaylee, sometimes I do that, but tonight I'm doing something different. Angels and spirit guides. Molly has a few, but endless. Yeah. Hi, Sandy. I'm so glad all you guys are here. So any other questions about guides or angels and loved ones? So I'm just going to go through some notes I made for this presentation, just for clarification. Please don't hesitate to put any questions in the chat. So, all right. When we start our spiritual practice, we're like, who am I talking to? What am I feeling? Is that me? Am I making it up? And that's the thing with mediumship. You have to get validation from the information you're getting. And those of you who have relationships with your guides already know that you do get validation in the form of signs or information that, oh, Molly's saying something amazing. I'll get to that in 2 seconds. When you get validation from people in a conversation, when your guide just told you that, or someone in spirit just told you that, we have to get validation and confirmation. Molly said, I have guides that turned out to be real people and looked them up, and she drew them not knowing. That's incredible. That's incredible. Yeah, spirit's amazing. Just like earlier, the lady said that she got a name from a download and Googled it and found out what it meant, and it was a real name. It's awesome. Rebecca has been trying to connect with no luck. I'm so sorry. I have a new video about connecting to spirit guides coming out in the next few days on my YouTube channel. I will post it on all my socials. Kimmy Cat says, Molly, Nik, do you always get names? No, I don't. I do not. Some intuitives have said it doesn't matter and just trust. I agree with that because I am terrible at names in my regular everyday life. I am bad at them. And so when I get a name in a reading, it is maybe 1 out of every 20 readings or so, I'll get a name. And about 90% of the time it means something, but it's something I'm working on with my guides. That's just not my strength. My strength is weird evidence that there's no way I could know. Like, I was doing a reading today and the spirit showed me playing with dough, cooking with grandma, playing with dough. And it was a very core memory for the client. And that is not something that client would, it was a specific memory. It was a specific memory. It wasn't just that. So there's names aren't as important as specific evidence. And sometimes a name like John or Mary, and I say this all the time, is such a common name. Everybody knows somebody John or Mary, mostly. Like the odds are pretty high. My grandfather's name was John and my grandmother's name was Mary. Those are super common names. So the odds of that are pretty high. So it's not always the best evidence. I will tell you, for example, one of the names I got in a reading was a 1-letter name. Now that was very specific because how many people have 1-letter names? Very few, small percent, maybe less than 1%. So when I get a name, it's normally very specific like that, like a specific reason. So names aren't always the best evidence, but they can be really good evidence. Cosmic says, can our guides or helper guides communicate with us in our dreams? Absolutely, 100% yes. I've been told and shown things that would possibly indicate this much. Downloads a lot also. Yes. Yes, our guides definitely can communicate with us in our dreams. I have another question over here. How do we get a reading? I am talking about guides and angels tonight. If you would like a one-on-one reading, you can go to my link tree in my bio and book one. I have a buy one, get one free sale right now. Okay. Next question. Miss Molly, I have most of them, but it doesn't matter. Yes. I think I got names so I could validate, but there are endless guides. Gotta go. Love you. Bye, Molly. Thank you, honey, for stopping in. Kimberly says, can our spirit guides help us with our health? They can help you to prevent things. They can help you keep your mind very positive because I believe 1,000,000% in mind over matter. There is a medium who's pretty active on social media who has stage 4 cancer, and she's had it for a very long time, and she has such a positive outlook, and she's looks very healthy. She looks very normal. She has energy. She does readings all the time. It's as if there is no illness in her body because of her outlook, because of her positive attitude, because of her manifesting the positive in her life. So your guides can definitely help keep you on the positive frequency versus the negative. And the more positive you are about your body, you can help yourself. I truly, truly believe that. Yes, I truly believe that. All right, let's see. Lori said, how do you know if your guides are giving you signs or your loved ones? And that's part of what I wanted to talk about tonight. Is it our guides or our loved ones? Well, you can ask. Okay, so there's a bunch of different ways. So let me talk about this for a minute. I'll give an example. When I see a dove, I always take it as a sign from my mother, who passed a long time ago. When I see a snow globe, I know it's a sign from my guide. And there's a reason for that. I have a whole long snow globe story that I've told many times. Essentially, my mentor made me test my guide to make sure they were there by asking them for a sign. I was new to mediumship. I knew nothing about it because of my science background. I was very skeptical that it was even real. And so I was kind of like rolly eyes. Okay, I'll ask my guide for a snow globe. It was in March, so there shouldn't have been any snow globes anywhere. I saw a couple on social media and blew it off. The next day, I go to a golf store with my husband. Lo and behold, plop in the middle of the counter on the golf store is a snow globe. That's a golf snow globe. Like, when does that happen? The next day I went to work, and a lady had worked at this place for 40 years. I had never been in this office before. And I looked to the side because I was new to the job, and there were rows and rows and rows of snow globes that she had special shelves built for because she'd been there for 40 years. And that's what the students gave her. So now I know unequivocally that my guides show me snow globes. So that's how I know. So when you test them and you say to your guide, show me a pirate ship, and you see a pirate ship, when then every time you see a pirate ship, you know that's from your guide. If you ask your loved one in spirit, show me a rhinoceros, and then you see a rhinoceros, and then every time you see one, you know that's from your loved one. So you can test them and ask them. Guides and loved ones in spirit will show you things you ask for. They just absolutely will. There's no doubt about it. So you have to test them. And it's not like a test, like, pass or fail. It's asking them to show you these things so you know their presence is around you. Hi. All right. So Kimberly says, yes, staying positive. Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely. So I tried to get through my notes here and didn't get very far because I got distracted by the questions. All right. When you see a sign, you can ask in your mind, project it. If you don't know who it is, who is bringing me the sign? And the person's face will flash in front of you, or you'll hear their name in your head, or you'll just have a feeling of that person. So that's another way to ask. So spirit guides, I'm looking at my notes because I'm trying to be prepared for my live stream. Spirit guides are non-physical beings. They're spirits who have chosen to assist you in this lifetime. Most of them have lived human lives before, and they understand the human experience intimately. They can communicate through thoughts and nudges and little snags, like you're watching TV and you see the rhinoceros you asked your guide for on a commercial. You're like, whoa, I just asked my guide for that. That's, a little nudge or a snag. A lot of repeated synchronicities You'll see a rhinoceros over and over and over again, and you're like, this is bizarre. Why am I seeing this? That's because your guides are there. They can give you guidance. Hi, Kim. They can give you guidance, and they're like a counselor or a mentor. So they're there. They're ever present. Their energy feels wise and supportive, neutral, not emotionally charged, not dysregulated. And they don't tell you what to do. That's the important thing. They guide you and empower you. So that's the guide. Hi, Julie. Word. Every time I'm going to say it. Sorry if you get sick of it. Let me know. When we encounter loved ones in spirit, these are people we knew on earth, family members, friends, pets who have crossed over, but they still want to connect. They come through because they love you and they want you to know they're still around in spirit. They come to offer comfort, validation, continued connection. They might pop in to celebrate your wins, to go to, a wedding or a baby shower or a special event. They help you through your grief and stress. They're there to support you. They can communicate in dreams, smells, songs, anything you're experiencing that reminds you of them can be your loved one coming through. All of a sudden, you'll get a wave of emotion and you'll be thinking of them. That can be your loved one in spirit. And personal messages, if you're getting a one-on-one reading or even a live reading, you can get a personal message that's specific. The vibe check for this is their energy feels warm and familiar and loving. The messages they give are often emotional and validating, and you should be able to feel their personality shine through. Kimmy Cat, hi Eileen, hi Angie. Lori said, can it come in the form of numbers repeating every time you look? Yes, that is a sign you can get from either your guide or your loved one in spirit. Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. Kimmy Cat says, music is a big sign for me. Same here, as well as angel numbers. I started to see flashes as well out of the corner of my eyes after a soulmate loss and ringing in ears. Yes to all. Check, check, check. 100%. If you're interested in learning more about that, you can get my digital course on my website. It's only $27. It's the equivalent of a 6-month mediumship mentorship, and it's full of exercises, journal prompts, information about all that stuff you just mentioned, Kimmy. Or I have a new beginners class starting Tuesday, the 29th. If you're interested in that mentorship, let me know. Either one. Some people like to learn on their own. Some people as a launching point. When I first started having mediumship experiences like you're talking about, I bought a book first and I went on YouTube and watched a bunch of videos of different mentors till I found the mentor I have that I had before. And, but the book was a launching point for me. Once I read the book, which I have it over on the shelf somewhere, and went through the exercises in the book, I was like, oh yeah, I need to do this because this is not going to go away. So yeah, all of those things. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. What else? Oh, I also wanted to talk about angels. Angels are high vibrational beings of pure divine love. They've never lived human lives, and they work on a cosmic energetic level. Archangels like Michael, Gabriel, Raphael are all part of this realm. Again, I do not have any direct experience with angels that I am aware of that I have tried to achieve. Just FYI. The purpose of angels is to protect, uplift, infuse divine love in your life, assist with healing, courage, and transformation. So angels are kind of like a big step above spirit guides because of their energetic level. And I know that's not technically absolutely right, but kind of. Their presence is usually pretty powerful when you sense them, or a very powerful sense of peace. They're often associated with white or golden light and repeated number sequences, like Kimmy was asking about. All of a sudden, you'll get clarity or downloads of unconditional love. Now, that I have felt. I just have never associated it with a specific angel yet. I'm not saying I won't or I can't. I just haven't yet. The vibe check for angels is angels' presence feels really big, really peaceful, really pure love, really awe-inspiring. And it's like divine intervention. Have you ever had a moment in your life where you were just like divinely inspired, or something you thought you needed to go in this direction and get this job or move in this house or start this relationship, and something happened that was so bizarre and crazy, and it's like, no, we're not going there? Possibly an angel. And I'm going to tell you a story. Cosmic 80s. And then Sylvia, I'll go back to your question. I'm going to tell you guys a story about an angel. It was not my experience. It was my sister, two of my sisters, and my other sister's kids. Okay. My oldest sister had 4 little kids at the time, and my youngest sister was with her, and they were driving in the winter, from St. Louis to Lexington, Kentucky. Okay. And that's a long drive in a minivan with 4 little kids, okay, and 2 women. My oldest sister hit a deer in the middle of the night with all these people in the van. And there were no cell phones. This was before I was married, and I've been married almost 30 years. So there were no cell phones, none, anywhere. So what do? You're alone on a highway. You wrecked your car. You hit a deer. You got all these kids in the car, right? A woman drove by, stopped. They were in Indiana, I think, when this happened. So not even close to where they needed to be. Like, it wasn't an hour-long drive. It was like many hours. The woman put them all in her car, drove them from, I believe it was somewhere in Indiana, all the way to Lexington, Kentucky, and dropped them off. She wouldn't take any money from my sister. She wouldn't give her name or contact information, nothing. She just drove her home, dropped them off safely, and left. That's an angel. Like, right? Like, that, in my opinion, is an angel. Where did they come from? Why wouldn't she share her information? Why wouldn't she take any money? That's a pretty random thing to do in the middle of the night, pick up a whole family, right? Yeah. Oh, right outside of Louisville. Okay, so it wasn't that far. Okay. All right. So I exaggerated the distance, but still, that's pretty crazy. So yeah, that's an angel in my opinion. So can they show themselves? Yes. Sylvia said, are our guides people we know who have passed or strangers? So I don't believe in labels that are exact. But I will tell you the technical definition of a spirit guide is someone you never knew in this life, technically. However, my mother, who I knew, obviously, guides me, and some people call them helper guides. So people you knew in this life can be a guide, but we call them helper guides. So that's that story. And spirit guides are people we have not known in this life, technically. So that's that story on that. Okay. What is next? Oh, key differences Lived human lives, spirit guides, yes. Loved ones in spirit, yes, obviously. Angels, no. The role of a spirit guide is a spiritual mentor and teacher. The role of your loved ones in spirit is emotional connection and support. The role of angels are divine protection and healing. The vibe of a spirit guide is wise, calm, and grounded. The vibe of a loved one in spirit is familiar, warm, and emotional. The vibe of an angel is expansive, peaceful, and unconditional. The main communication of a spirit guide is intuition and synchronicities. The main communication for loved ones in spirit is dreams, signs, and emotional presence. And the main communication for angels are light, numbers, and divine clarity. Again, I cannot prove any of this. I have no proof. These are just outlines, guidelines. This is what the experience of all the mediums collectively kind of have come up with. Okay, so just understand that. Hello, Connie. Tips for connection. If you want to know the difference between an angel, a spirit guide, let me put this in the chat. Okay, tips for connection. I don't know how much it'll, oh, okay, it doesn't show the whole thing. So I'll read my notes. If it feels loving and personal, it's likely a loved one in spirit. If it feels wise and purposeful, it's probably a guide. If it feels divine and beyond human, it may be an angel. So those are the tips. And maybe it did all show up. Oh, most of it showed up. Yeah, that's pretty good. Eileen, can our beloved pets in spirit be our guides? Absolutely. They can be a helper guide, like I was describing earlier. They're not technically a spirit guide, but they can be a guide just like my mother is to me or other loved ones in spirit. Yes, 100,000,000% yes. Have our pets been together in past lives? Meaning the pet, like if you owned a dog when you were 10 and then owned a dog when you were 25 and then owned a dog when you were 35 and they didn't know each other here, could they have been together in past lives? Sure. Yes, absolutely. We all are connected through the collective consciousness. I'm going to get my whiteboard out. Y'all know I love a whiteboard. Oh, what'd I do with my pen? My pen is over there. Oh, I have one here. All right. I look at all of our connection in a collective. So if we are, here is source. I'm going to make it like an oval. There's source. This is where God or the main entity is, the main deity, I guess you could call it. And then I see all of us connecting. All of these lines have millions and billions of souls on them. And the closer you get to source, this is the goal, merge with source. So if you're a baby soul, you're way out here and you have a new life and you're kind of immature and materialistic and you're not at a very high frequency. And then you have like 10,000 lives and you get more and more mature and more mature and more mature. And eventually you merge with source. And that's the goal, growing our soul to merge with source. So that's my whiteboard lesson for the night. All right. You're welcome. You're welcome. Let's see. So any other questions? Now, remember at the beginning of the night, I pulled this collective card, the sun, and it just, it chokes me up still, because the source of all life on earth and any planet in any part of the universe at any time comes from the star that their planet orbits. The sun is the source of all life, and we can pull in energy from the sun and all the stars at any time. And I'm beautiful. It's so beautiful, and it's so important to me. That connection from my astronomy background to my mediumship, that this card, it falls out much more than it's possible, statistically possible. If we don't think we are connected, yeah, well, interesting comment about COVID. That is more biological. That's more for, physically we're connected, and that's why it spread, because we're in contact with each other, close proximity, and we didn't know how contagious it was. And that's why people were asked to wear masks, no matter what kind of conspiracy theories you've ever heard. Doctors wear masks during surgery for a very important reason, because those masks prevent the spittle, which carries viruses, and our breath, just the vapor from our breath, those tiny little water molecules. There are viruses much smaller than that can attach to those little molecules. And so we've had viruses were here before life. So, and they do spread. So the masks were supposed to help us prevent the spread. Surgical masks. So that's biological. But yes, it is an example. It's a great analogy for how connected we all are. Okay. So I'm going to pull another collective card. So the sun, don't forget the sun. Hi, Kaylee. Collective card. Any other questions? I'm getting tired. Ooh, had a busy couple days. Thank you guys for tuning in for angels and spirit guides and loved ones tonight. I guess we don't. Oh, excuse me. I got to grab the card. It fell on the floor. Oh, think. There are 4 of them fell out. Think, heal, home, and exploration. So this is interesting that these fell out together. So we need to use our critical thinking, but not overthink, because in order to heal, we need to let go of the analytical mind and think about the more creative spiritual side of our mind, so we can heal and raise our vibration, so we can make it home to the other side, to the collective consciousness or source. Meanwhile, we need to continue exploring these things, our spirituality. So that's that collective card pull for tonight. 4 cards popped out. That's pretty amazing. Any questions before we go for the night? Oh yeah, Cosmic, did I answer your email? I feel like I answered it, but I've had so many emails the last few days. I don't remember. I know. Check your email. You're welcome, Kimmy Cat. Thank you, Ray. All right. So if you want a one-on-one reading and you want to buy one, get one free on my website now, just book any 30 or 45-minute reading and I will email you back and then we will decide, do you want to keep your free reading or do you want to gift it to somebody? My new beginners mentorship is Tuesday, April 29th. And if you want to buy the digital download, it's on my website for $27. Oh, yay. Thank you, Eileen. And don't forget the Spirit Exchange with me and Kathy Behrens and myself is May 8th. And our guest speaker will be Hollis Taylor, who will be doing a death astrology chart reading and talking about that. And it's going to be amazing. Hi, Carrie. Oh, thank you, honey. How's your practicing doing? You're welcome, Julie. Hi, Carol. I'm just wrapping up. Kimball Case is digital download similar to class. It's learn on your own at your own pace. It is the exact same as my class, except I'm not there like teaching it to you. So it's a 6-month mediumship mentorship and a book. And it's a great launching point if you want to think about taking a class. So yeah, it's only $27. So it's a steal. You're welcome. What's your take on doppelganger? Biology. Okay. Good. Carrie, if you want to practice doing readings, let me know. Okay. Would be available next week. Haven't heard back. Okay, I'll check because it must have gotten mixed up in all my other emails. All right. Okay, thank you, everyone. Have a good night. Thank you for being here. I'll probably be live again Friday, if not Friday, Saturday, across all platforms. I'll talk to you guys all later. Thanks for being here. Good night.